All right, so this is day 7 of my 30-day challenge here at Berkademy Lab. And I've been logging every single interaction I have with AI, just trying to see the real patterns hiding in there. Last week, kind of building on what I found in episodes 4 and 6 about my avoidance habits, I started counting a very specific kind of question. I really thought I was using AI for research, but, well, the logs told a completely different story. 47. That's a number. In just 1 week, 47 times, I asked my AI some version of, is this okay? It wasn't, what is this, or how does this work? I wasn't asking for information. I was asking for permission. And this was the real moment of clarity for me. The goal wasn't to learn something new. I already had an opinion, an idea, a path forward in my head. The real goal was to avoid the discomfort, that squirmy feeling of just trusting my own judgment. I was outsourcing confidence. To really understand what was going on, I had to go back through my prompt history. My AI logs have become this kind of incredible mirror, showing me not what I think I'm doing, but what I'm actually doing. And a really clear pattern started to emerge. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so here's a classic. I'd already mapped out a whole strategy for a project. I'd done the research, I felt good about it, but right before I was about to pull the trigger, I'd paste the entire thing into the AI and just ask, is this a good approach? And of course, the AI would almost always say yes, maybe with a few tiny tweaks. And only then would I feel safe enough to actually move forward. Oh man, this one came up all the time, especially after I'd written something, like an email, a script, even a piece of code. I'd read it over and yeah, it made sense to me. But instead of just trusting that, I'd ask the machine for validation. What I was really asking was, am I coherent? Am I smart enough? This last one, this was maybe the most revealing of all, because in pretty much every single case, I already had a strong preference. I knew which one I wanted to do. I just wanted the AI to co-sign the decision, to give me some kind of external excuse to justify my own intuition. I wasn't looking for advice, I was looking for an accomplice. So why, right? Why do this? Why would I outsource a decision that I've practically already made? This set me down a rabbit hole into the research, because I realized this isn't just some quirky little habit of mine. It's a deeply human pattern, and technology is just making it, frictionless. So one of the key concepts that kept popping up is something called analysis paralysis. I saw this reflected so clearly in Barry Schwartz's work on the paradox of choice. The whole idea is that we become so terrified of being wrong that we just get stuck. And AI offers this perfect escape hatch, right? We can just gather more and more information, or in my case, validation, and pretend that we can eliminate uncertainty completely. And this slide really nails it. Reading through the research on decision-making, it all comes back to these really fundamental fears. We're scared of being wrong. We want to avoid being held accountable. If the AI said it was a good idea, it's not totally my fault if it fails, is it? It's all about protecting our ego, insulating ourselves from the pain of a bad outcome by getting something else to share that risk. And this is where it gets really serious, because this isn't just a psychological quirk. Every single time I ask for permission, I am physically changing my brain. Nicholas Carr talks about this in his book, The Shallows. Our tools don't just serve us, they actually shape us. These repeated actions are literally rewiring my neural circuits. It all comes down to this fundamental principle of neuroplasticity, often called Hebb's rule, and it's actually pretty simple. Neurons that are activated at the same time form and strengthen their connections with each other. So every action we take, every thought we have, it strengthens certain pathways in our brain, and it weakens others. So what pathways am I strengthening with my 47 permission questions? What I realized is that I've accidentally created this neurological feedback loop for myself. It all starts with a trigger, that feeling of uncertainty. The action is to ask the AI. The reward is instant, a little hit of relief, of validation. And the results? The neural pathway that links uncertainty to needing external validation gets stronger. And the cost? Well, the pathway for self-trust, for just sitting with that discomfort and making a call, it gets weaker and weaker from disuse. This brings me to the ultimate trade-off I'm facing now. Every single prompt I write is a choice. It's a choice between two very different paths. I'm either training my brain for dependency, or I am building my capacity for judgment. There is no middle ground. Just look at this contrast. Over on the left, you've got the permission loop. You're seeking validation, reinforcing what you already think, and it ultimately just leads to reliance. But on the right, that's the alternative. I'm borrowing this term beautiful questions from Warren Berger's work here. These are the kinds of questions that don't look for validation, but actually spark new ideas. They're all about exploring what you don't know. And yeah, that path is harder, involves way more uncertainty, but it is the only one that actually leads to breakthroughs and genuine capability. This right here is the core insight of this entire week's experiment. Every time I outsource that final moment of judgment, I am actively practicing incompetence. I am running a training simulation for my brain, and the core lesson is this. You are not capable of making this decision on your own. You need someone else to approve it. It's like a self-inflicted wound to my own judgment. And that brings the mirror right back around to us, doesn't it? The irony is not lost on me that even as I'm making this, I can feel that urge to ask an AI if this script is any good. So the question I'm sitting with now is the one I'll leave with you. What decision are you outsourcing right now? What answer do you already have that you're just looking for someone or something to co-sign? So tomorrow, I'm going to explore what happens when I consciously try to break this loop. What happens when I just stop asking for permission and start taking full responsibility for my own judgment? That's for day 8. This has been day 7 at Berkademy Lab.